In this video, we're going to be doing a fun textured 12-inch square with a garter stitch edge. Here's the wrote out pattern. I'll go over that in a moment. The yarn we are going to be using is Lion Brand's Vanna's Choice. And it is 273 yards, a number 4, 100% acrylic. The color I'm using is called Rust. The loom I'm using is the 66 peg 1/2 inch gauge loom from Cindywood Looms. All of the pegs we're marking is to help us with this section right here that gets repeated over and over until we get to the end of the project where we go back into a straight garter stitch. So what I'm marking are the rows that are going to be a knit stitch for the entire project, other than like those first 6 and the last 6 rows. So for this whole chart, over and over and over, I don't have to worry. These pegs will be knit. It also helps me keep track of where I am on the chart. So what I've done is I have we got peg 1 and peg 6 marked. We have peg 7, 12, 16, 22, 26. I ran out of the same color, so these ones are orange. So 26, where are we at right here? 32, 36, 41, and then 42 through 47 are marked for my garter stitch. We'll go ahead and cast on, and then I'll explain the chart a little bit more. We are going to be using a chain cast on. Take your working yarn, hold the tail over top, pull the working yarn through, and you are creating a slip knot. See? Here's the working yarn. Get this a little closer. Here's our slip knot. Here's the working yarn. Place the working yarn behind the peg on the loom. This tail will get in the way, so I'm putting it out the opposite side. Pull the working yarn through this loop you made. For the first one, I'll put my finger on here to keep it from popping off, and then you tighten it up. This strand I make sure is in the back. Sometimes it wants to kind of get tangled up in that first row. So see, I got that on there. It still slips. Take your new loop, put it behind the next peg, so there will be 2 strands going behind the peg. Take that working yarn, pull through, and you're creating a new slip here. You just place the loop on that last peg. Now, as you can see, the working yarn is coming from that last peg, which is peg 47. What we will do is the first peg of every row, that'll be the peg the working yarn is coming from, you skip that peg. It's called slipping the stitch. You skip that peg and you will go ahead and work the rest of the row. The reason we are doing that is you skip the first peg of every row and you will knit the last peg of every row. That is to help give us a nice edge on the project when it's done. Makes it much easier when you're connecting them into larger projects like a blanket or a scarf or a pillow or something. Now let's go over how to follow our graph here. You can follow 2 different ways. You can go just by the chart here. We just did our cast on, so row 1, our working yarn should be coming from peg 47. Check. We will be working from peg 47 back to peg 1, and we will be doing our knit stitch the entire time. Your knit stitch of choice, I'll show you in just a moment. Then row 2, yarn should be coming from peg 1. We'll be working to peg 47. So you go back and forth. That's how that's done. This bottom right here, you can follow it. Like, there's row 1, row 2, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. And then when you get to row 7 through 10, says right here, it's repeated 21 times. So as you go, you can take and mark off the rows as you work them. Here's another pattern I was doing. Of course, you got highlighters and stuff and mark it up however you want, but I mark off the rows as I do them so I don't lose track of where I'm at. That's how I follow this. Now down here, if you're unfamiliar with reading patterns, down here, let me see, this is row 7. This will just be, you know, rows 7, 11, 15, blah, 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 blah. Those are all rows. That's not the actual stitches. Here's, after that's where your stitches start. For row 7, you will knit 7 stitches, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 2, purl 3, knit 2. That part in parentheses, you repeat this over and over, and then you'll repeat that over and over until you get towards your end, where it will end with a purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 7. But each row is going to be a repeat of so many. So it's a repeat of this over and over, but when we get to the end, we can't do like a full repeat. So then I just have what's after that last repeat wrote out. Let's show you how to do your knit stitch, your purl stitch, and then you guys can get going and work this up for, you'll be doing this chart here from row 7 to row 94. And then row 95 to 100, you will go back to your garter stitch. Which row 1 is all knit. So we'll go ahead, I'll go ahead and work that row all the way up. Get me some yarn here out. Oh, where am I coming from? Working yarn's coming from peg 47. Of course, peg 47. We skip. If you do wrap the first peg of every row, make sure you wrap the last peg of every row in the same way so that your ends line up. I just prefer that chain looking edge to mine. For your knit stitch, to keep our gauging, you know, fairly accurate, you don't want to do the E-wrap stitch, which is also known as a twisted knit stitch. You want to either use a flat stitch, which is the tightest of the 3. I personally rarely use this stitch because I tend to knit really, really tight anyway. But the flat stitch is very self-explanatory. You take the working yarn, hold it over top the stitch on the peg. I'm going to put it back there. And you're holding it straight. Just holding it in the direction you're going. That is a flat stitch. What I use 99.999% of the time is going to be a U stitch. It's across the front, but you wrap it to the back. Across the front, wrap to the back. That wrapping it to the back gives you more yarn in that stitch, so it's not going to be as tight. For the absolute best result, your true knit stitch is going to give you the most stretch. It does take a lot longer, and if you are doing knits and purls, some people, it's very easy to get confused and get them backwards. But your true knit stitch is the exact opposite of a purl stitch. Take your loom tool through the bottom of the stitch on the peg, working yarn, hold over. Take your loom tool to pull that working yarn down through the bottom of that stitch. And what you've done is you've created a new stitch. You're going to pop that old one off and tighten that up. I'll show you one more time. Okay, through the bottom, working yarn down, pop the old off, tighten it up. That is your true knit stitch. I'm going to go ahead and use the U stitch back to peg 1. This last peg, we're not going to wrap the same way, because if we wrap it this way and then we come back, we are crossing the strands, which will give it kind of a twisted look. So what we're going to do, instead of wrapping over and back, we're going to wrap under and over. So we'll wrap, get that tail out of my way, behind the peg and around the front, because you want the yarn going in the direction you're going to be working. Now the purl stitch, I only know one way to do a purl stitch. Exact opposite of our knit stitch. So you're working, your loom tool goes down through the top of the stitch on the peg, working yarn below. You catch that with your loom tool, and here's your new stitch you've created. Pop that old one off, put the new one on. Go ahead and work up the project, work up your 100 rows. We're doing a super stretchy bind off. Working yarn's coming from peg 1, bring it up through peg 2, go back 1 and bring it down through peg 1. That's just getting it started. Working yarn's still coming from peg 1. This is a 2-step bind off. It's, I say, skip one up, back one down is how I remember it. I skip one peg and pull the working yarn up through the bottom of the stitch. Back one down, I go back one peg and take the working yarn down through the stitch. Skip one up, back one down. Working yarns from this peg, so skip one up. Go ahead and take it off the loom. Oh, such a fun texture. All right, stretch this out. Nice. That's what the back looks like. Okay. This one's, I wouldn't quite say that one's so much reversible. This side looks much better. Guys, that's all I got for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. You can email me directly, thehypnotichysteria@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, follow, turn on notifications. All interaction with the video is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.